Welcome to the RadioU podcast. Coming up, I'm finally starting to wonder if Fyre Fest 2 is ever going to happen.
Also, what's Bananaball?
All that and more on the way next. Sometimes it feels like Mr. Beast can do no wrong. Like he's the biggest YouTuber in the world, and then he makes more money with his other brands than he does off of his videos. Mm-hmm. And he's always doing this like philanthropic stuff. It feels like he can do no wrong.
Yeah, I mean, he seems like a celebrity that actually is a good person.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm sure he is, but he still is human.
Yeah.
And so he still makes some missteps. Like he is accused of here. The Mr. Beast experience just took place at Resorts World in Las Vegas. And you would think if you bought $1,000 tickets to the Mr. Beast experience, you might see Mr. Beast at the Mr. Beast experience.
I would hope so, considering the name.
And the price tag.
Yeah.
The Mr. Beast experience took place, and you may have figured out by now, Mr. Beast nowhere to be found.
Oh, boy.
People forked out $1,000. Not only were they kind of hoping to meet Mr. Beast, they also were promised an unforgettable weekend that included meet and greets, exclusive merch, mini games, and a $10,000 voucher for one surprise guest, plus a 3-night stay at the Resorts World Hotel. But according to the people that actually showed up for this and had paid for tickets, there was no Mr. Beast to be found. Also, the exclusive merch that was promised actually turned out to be like clothes for kids that are listed for clearance in the Mr. Beast shop right now.
Oh, my goodness.
Basically, this was Mr. Beast's Fyre Festival.
Yeah. This just needs to stop happening. Influencers need to stop hosting events like these because they just clearly do not know how to plan them. Do you remember, this may be like 10 years ago now, I don't even know how long ago it was, that TanaCon thing where it was like a YouTuber that was not invited to YouTube's big convention.
VidCon.
Yeah, VidCon. And so she decided to host one in like protest, opposite, literally same town, same time as VidCon. And it was a total disaster. And I thought that, you know, YouTubers would have learned from that to be like, yeah, we're not falling for creating these exclusive experiences and events anymore. And hopefully people will stop buying the tickets for these because they never seem to work out.
They a lot of times don't deliver. But you would have thought of all people, of all YouTubers that would deliver an unforgettable experience for $1,000. It feels like Mr. Beast, right?
You would hope so. He's kind of the guy that has been the person to deliver on stuff like this.
Yeah. And so I'm waiting. I feel like whether it actually is legit or not, I feel like I'm waiting for him to come out with some explanation, something that will disarm the critics.
Yep.
And he's usually really good at that.
Yes.
And so I'm sure if before too long, we'll get some story or some joke and it will be like, okay, no big deal. But until then, it's not a good look. I mean, the people that did buy these tickets, so disappointed. There was one person who said, these kids, these young adults, these influencers, they wanted to see Jimmy. And they got nothing. They got no Jimmy. No Jimmy Donaldson. So we need... Explain yourself, Mr. Beast. We need to know the answer to this.
Yeah, we need to know what happened here. Like, did you not know that this event was being planned in your name, maybe? Is this it's a scam?
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Was this put on by somebody else entirely? Some people are like complaining all the way to the CEO of Resorts World. So like people are upset, but I'm curious to maybe this was called the Mr. Beast Experience as a way to sell tickets.
But it wasn't Mr. Beast at all.
Yeah, he wasn't involved, but I don't know. It sounds like a disaster.
Yeah, either way, not great look. But as you said, he is kind of the PR master. So if anyone can recover from this, it's him.
Yeah, definitely. And in the meantime, between this and Coachella and man, I just don't want to ever leave the house.
Yeah.
I don't want to buy tickets for anything.
I don't want to buy expensive tickets for anything. You know where I'm going, Hudson?
Where are you going?
I'm going to see the Savannah Bananas.
Ooh, so I know what that is.
Yes.
But there must be people that don't know. What is the Savannah Bananas?
So the Savannah Bananas are a baseball team that play a form of baseball. We'll call it that. It's not really baseball. It's called Bananaball. But they were started out of Savannah, Georgia, a few years back, and they have gone massively viral to the point where they now tour the country. And I think they've even been outside of the country. And they play for stadiums and all sorts of places all over where they play a baseball game or a Bananaball game against their rival team, which are called the Party Animals. But more than likely, you've probably seen them on social media before. They wear these yellow costumes, which are the color of a banana, and they do all these crazy TikTok dances and intros for their, when they're walking up, they do like these fun, crazy, sing-along intros or whatever. But they're so fun. I've been a fan of them for a few years now, and so I've really wanted to go see them. But like I said, they're really mega popular because of their virality. And they also have an ESPN documentary show. And so it's really hard to get tickets for them when they're on these tours. They actually make you sign up for a lottery to even have the opportunity to buy tickets.
Well, that's kind of crazy.
It doesn't even guarantee that you will be able to buy them. It just gives you an opportunity, gives you a time slot. Well, me and my cousins, we've been wanting to go see him for a couple years, and we've been signing up for the lotteries every time to be like, okay, hopefully one of us will get the lottery.
Yeah.
And my cousin Christy won the lottery this time, and she was able to get us 5 tickets to go see them this June. And
nice.
I'm so excited.
That's cool. So are they I'm somewhat familiar with the Savannah Bananas. Would you describe it as the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball?
Yeah, very similar vibe where they're doing a lot of trick type of stuff. They even have one of their players that will take an at bat in stilts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so here's another question, and don't take this the wrong way, but does it feel like something that's kind of for children?
No. Actually, I think a lot of the target audience is women.
Women, okay.
Because they're very conventionally attractive men.
I see. Are these, so the Globetrotters are a lot of times, if you are really into basketball, their players, they have their Harlem Globetrotters names. Some of them, the classic Meadowlark Lemon or whatever. But some of the players are players that you would know if you followed college basketball or maybe had a short stint in the NBA or whatever, and they that. They're not good enough to do that.
Yeah. But
they've found this career elsewhere. Are these baseball players, are any of them people that I would know because I'm a baseball fan?
Maybe. They've had a few stints from former MLB players. They'll come in and they'll do it. But for the most part, these are young guys. A lot of them fresh out of college.
Young, conventionally attractive guys.
Yep. That's kind of what they're going for. And they, they obviously, they know how to play baseball. But also they're looking for the guys that are able to dance. They're able to kind of do stuff on social media. So they're willing to do and have a presence on social media. So they have a strategy for the Savannah Bananas. It's not only do we want a baseball team, we want a baseball team of, guys that can be little superstars, pretty much.
So this is content creators that also know how to play baseball.
Yeah, but not just they're athletic, they're not just content creators,
Well, so when is it?
It's in June.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you'll have to report back.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I want to know if it's if it is for adult women or if it's for children.
Believe me, when you watch some of the videos, it's for adult women. But I do need to brush up on some of the rules because I know one of the rules for Bananaball is if you catch a foul ball, it's an out.
I love that. One thing I think, as people know I love Popeyes.
Yep.
And maybe a close second of a restaurant that I represent for is BJ's.
Yeah, you do talk about them a lot, too.
BJ's Restaurant and Brew House. I've been there a lot of time. I guess there's 3 because I also love Texas Roadhouse. But BJ's is up there. It's on my Mount Rushmore of just restaurants that not that are favorites, but they just really satisfy you.
Yeah.
You get a good experience for how much you spend.
I think that's definitely the case for you. You always talk about how happy you are when you eat a Pizookie from there.
Yeah, it's the only restaurant I get dessert from. And Allie, I know you don't like dessert, which is why I think BJ's was thinking of you when they did this. BJ's is now offering the broccoli cheddar Pizookie.
Okay.
It is It is a pizookie, a broccoli cheddar pizookie, which uses broccoli and cheddar into the base, what would be the cookie down in the pan. And then instead of scoops of ice cream on top, it's 2 scoops of mashed potatoes and then a melted cheddar cheese sauce on top. And so it is a savory twist on the sweet pizookie.
This actually looks delicious.
See, they were thinking of you.
This looks so good.
They're like, we've already won Hudson over. Hudson is a BJ's aficionado, but how do we get Allie? We get her with the broccoli cheddar
When are
pizookie.
we going is my question.
What are we waiting for?
We need right now. Let's go.
The first ever BJ's.
Is it available now?
Is available nationwide for a limited time.
All right. Well, maybe what we should do is take Food Fight on the road.
Yeah.
Have Nene tag along and film us. We'll go try it.
I don't know if you can get a pizookie to go. For all my BJ's trips, I've never gotten it to go, so I don't know. So yeah, we would have to go to the restaurant. Yeah.
Sit down, order it, and have a little road trip.
Yeah. That sounds, I don't want this at all. I don't like broccoli, and I've done.
Well, you can get a regular pizookie. I know, I'll get this one.
I will. I know people like, if you just put cheese sauce on it, then the broccoli's like not that, you don't even taste it. And it's like, 1, I do taste it. And 2, if I'm just smothering it in cheese anyways, what's the point of eating the broccoli?
Well, like broccoli to me is good even if I just eat it plain.
That's crazy.
I love broccoli.
I know. I don't understand. There's worse things, but I just don't understand the people that, like you're saying you actually like it. And I don't get it.
I love it.
I don't get it.
I love it so much. I don't know why you don't like it.
Why are you talking like that?
I don't know, but I don't know why you don't like it.
What character is that? What accent are you doing?
Language are you speaking?
The broccoli accent. The broccoli cheddar pizookie now available at BJ's, the restaurant, not the wholesale club. I am going to open up the RadioU hotline.
877-2-RADIO-U.
I want to know, what is a question you hate being asked or hate having to answer? And don't say, the question I hate being asked is, what's a question you hate being asked?
Yeah, no circumventing here.
Nip that right in the butt. Bud.
Okay. It's beauty.
The butt. 8772 Radio U. What is a question you hate being asked? I have I don't know. I have a theory that we might do this, and then we'll see all the questions people hate being asked and realize that these are also questions that people hate asking. And so why are we putting ourselves all through this?
Yeah, that's a good point. Like we kind of just, especially when it comes to small talk, we go through the motions on that. And we're just like, we think we have to ask this question or we think we have to answer it. And yet we really don't. No one wants to do this anymore.
So like a good example, and this is the simple, most obvious one, but like, how are you doing?
Yep.
How are you?
Yeah.
Nobody really, you feel like you have to ask that to people, but nobody really wants to answer it.
Well, I don't know if
at least honestly.
I don't think it's not, no one really wants to answer it, but definitely the honestly part. It's just tough to, especially if you're just in passing, it's tough to really share in that, quick few seconds how you're actually feeling.
Do you really want me to unload on you right now?
Right.
Good or bad? Like what if a lot of good things are going on? I'm going to sound like I'm bragging.
Exactly.
So
there's no right. I mean, there is a right way. Society, tells you the right way to answer it is like, I'm good or whatever.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, I'm doing fine.
Not bad.
Whatever.
The worst is when you say one of those and you're like, oh, and people are like, oh, you're not good. Like not bad, but you're not good.
Oh yeah. If they're like
you don't answer happy enough. Yeah. And then they get concerned.
I don't know if I've ever experienced that.
Oh, I've definitely. But I also come across as melancholy a lot, I think. So.
You do.
8772 Radio U. The question is, what's a question you hate being asked?
Yeah.
I feel like some of these are just generic questions that people ask all the time and who wants to actually answer. And then what we're also getting though, and I love this, is like the questions that are so specific to you that you get over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Like Jamie says, as a natural redhead, I hate being asked, is it natural?
That's got to be annoying.
As if to, is that implying that nobody would want to dye their hair red?
Or I think it's more implying if it's
that it doesn't look real.
Either that or like if it's not natural, it's almost like, oh, you didn't earn that or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like the Redheads it's an exclusive club.
Yeah.
And you can't come in if you're not natural.
Right.
Brian, this is so true. Brian says, I hate being asked, is this available on Facebook Marketplace?
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
That's the worst because you know the conversation's over after
like,
that.
if it's listed on Marketplace, it's available. Tell me when you want to pick it up or something, you know?
Yeah.
Julie says, tell me about yourself.
No, yeah, that's terrible.
That's like on like a date or something.
Yeah.
Like,
that's way too vague and just
seriously.
like not interesting at all.
It's not technically a question, but it's still the same vibe.
Yeah.
Eric says he gets asked about his beard all the time. He says it's so big, doesn't it get hot and itchy in the summertime?
Oh, why would anyone ask that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think sometimes so it's still a weird question to ask, and he sent in a picture and he does have a big beard, but like you notice something that's obviously noticeable about somebody.
Yeah.
And you're trying to make conversation and you just like can't stop yourself. You know, you say the first thing that goes into your mind and you just can't stop. Like, isn't it get itchy?
I don't think I've ever asked that question.
I mean, I wouldn't ask if I also have a beard.
Yeah.
But what would I ask somebody that has a shaved face?
I don't know.
Isn't that a lot of maintenance to keep it cleanly shaved? What are you trying to play for the Yankees?
Not anymore.
Angela says, why are you so quiet?
Yeah, that's kind of a weird question to ask somebody.
Yeah. Nobody asked me that.
Really?
They don't, because I'm always, because I'm loud and boisterous.
Yeah.
And what is your question you hate being asked, Allie?
I feel like it's hard for me to pick. I think I would agree with what we said in a little bit earlier where we were saying, the how are you? Like, that's not fun.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, it's a required question.
Yeah.
But I also do ask that question because it's just like, it's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for me personally, and it's not that I don't like talking about it, but I do get a lot of the same questions, especially whenever dating, about growing up in Zambia. It's just like, did you ride an elephant when you went to school?
Yeah.
Or, a lot of people ask me if you're from Africa, then why are you white? Question, which is from Mean Girls, which I didn't actually know what that reference was the first time I was asked that question. So I just thought that person was being extremely rude. But, and I was just like, what do you mean? But yeah, I do get that question a lot. And now I just kind of laugh it off. But yeah, I think it's probably more with that, of people wanting to know, because it's really complicated to try and explain kind of my upbringing sometimes. And so it can get a little exhausting.
Yeah. Yeah. And for so many of the questions that people hate answering, the person asking these questions, like if you're tall, you would hate being asked, how's the weather up there? Did you play basketball? Blah, blah. And because you hear those all the time, but the people that are asking don't realize.
They don't realize
they think it is crazy. They think they're the first one to ask it.
Right.
But so, I mean, I just think that's something to keep in mind for all of us.
Absolutely. And I will clarify my statement. It's not that I don't like talking about growing up in Zambia. I do. But to me, it's more the question of where are you from? Because that means I have to then go into the whole explanation. Because then which is
normally a fine question to ask.
Normally a fine question to ask, but then it snowballs into all of the other questions that I know will come up. We're going to be like, well, why did you grow up in Africa? And again, I like sharing that. It's just exhausting after the 20th time of having to explain it.
A couple more quick ones here. Eric says the response to what he gets asked, does your beard get hot in the summertime, hot and itchy? He says you should ask people that have a shaved face, does your face get cold in the winter?
Oh.
So he's figured that one out. I feel like he's got a response. That should be his response every time someone asks about his beard. Alex says, I work at a fish restaurant, and the question I hate being asked is for stuff that people should know we don't have. He constantly gets asked for A1 sauce. How'd you have A1 sauce at a fish place?
I don't know why they would have it, but I mean, I don't know if that's, I feel like I would probably ask for something that's not at a fish restaurant. Like I would probably make that mistake.
What would you ask for?
I don't know. But
sour cream. Do you have sour cream?
No, not sour cream. That sounds disgusting.
Why would you need that at a fish restaurant?
Maybe I wouldn't. I probably would ask for tartar sauce, which they should have.
Now, what if I told you If like, I don't know how old this guy is, 60, maybe getting close to 70, and he says he's never had chicken wings before, would you believe him?
I mean, that's a long time to live and not have one of the best foods out there.
Let's see. Oh, cool. 79 years old. Wow. Okay, we're talking about, this is Jim Palmer. He's a pitcher for the Orioles, or he was, not anymore. He was a pitcher for the Orioles a long time ago. Now he's 79 years old. He's their broadcaster. He claims on a earlier this week in one of the Orioles games he was broadcasting, he claimed that he had never had a chicken wing before in his life.
Wow, that is a claim
Yeah.
to make. I'm sorry, I'm still dying at your whatever your reaction was.
And believe it or not, he's not a vegetarian either. So it's not.
Okay, so it's not like he's not eating meat.
Yeah. He's had other chicken. He's just never had chicken wings.
That's crazy.
And he's 79 years old. Why change now, right?
I guess. I mean, why would you, want to switch it up if you're enjoying what you're eating? But I think it's fun to try new things.
So now the quest has begun to get Jim Palmer, Orioles legend and Orioles broadcaster, to try a chicken wing.
What's it gonna take, Jim?
He says that he's not just going to try a chicken wing.
Okay.
He's 79 years old.
He needs something in return.
Yeah. And so he says if the Orioles hit a grand slam on a game that he's calling, he will try a chicken wing.
All right, Orioles. I mean, they got 9 runs last night against my Cleveland Guardians, so I think they can do it.
They can definitely do it. I don't know how statistically how often a grand slam happens, but like it's got to happen this year, like sometime this year.
Yeah. Teams hit them throughout the year, at least you would hope at least once. But when he's calling, because he's broadcasting every game pretty much, right?
I don't know. He's 79 years old. So I don't know if he does do every single game for them or not.
Well, Orioles, you got to get the work in. Got to try and get this to happen.
There were 89 grand slams in all of baseball last year.
Okay.
So
what about for the Orioles? Did they say?
I don't have that stat, but I mean 89. That's like
there's
33 per team. Yeah, per season. So it's got to happen.
Yeah, at least you would think at least once. You just hope it's when Jim is calling the game.
And so now it would be fun to be the other people like on the staff because now they have to have chicken wings stocked for every game until the Orioles hit a grand slam. And so I guess at the end of the game, like if Jim doesn't get to eat them,
then whoever bought them gets.
Yeah, then you get to partake. So.
I think I'd like that tradition.
I know. If I was on the Orioles staff on the broadcasting team, I'd be like, maybe I don't want him to hit a grand slam.
Maybe I want these for myself.
Just keep getting these free wings every game. But that is great. 79 years old.
Wow.
I'm trying to think, what food will I not have had even if I live to 79?
That's the thing, is there's plenty of foods that we've never tried and probably never will in our entire lives. And then, that goes for things that we're allergic to, things that we just never will try because they are foods that just aren't made in our part of the world. But chicken wings for an American, that's kind of surprising.
Nothing so seemingly common.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Not even KFC, Jim?
I kind of want some wings tonight.
Yeah, that sounds like a good thing.
It's BOGO Boneless Thursday at B-Dubs.
Yep.
Might have to make that happen. Radio U, where music is going, 8772 Radio U. Thanks for hanging with Hudson and Allie and our special guest. He's put out a ton of songs that we love playing here on Radio U, including his brand new song, Head First, that he's put out for the show Gabriel and the Guardians. Peabod, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. Thanks so much for having me. Excited to be here.
Yes, it's good to actually meet you, Peabod. And we are excited about the new show, Gabriel and the Guardians. And we want to get the story on how you even got involved with that. But first, Easter is coming up. And I want to know, Peabod, what do you have going on for Easter?
Oh, man. I'll be at church with my wife. Helping out at our church here in Washington that we love, that I've been a part of for like almost 10 years. So do that and then have a little lunch with the family, which maybe you can help me answer this debate. I feel like people after church on Sunday, specifically like Easter, will call lunch dinner. And like this, I feel like this is like this old school tradition back to when we called dinner supper, but no one really calls it supper anymore. Anyways, so like we were planning this and my parents were like, are you guys going to come over for dinner? And I was like, what day? Anyways, this doesn't matter.
No,
but this is like a long-standing debate is fancy lunch dinner, or can we just
this is what we want.
Anyways.
No, this is what we are here for, Peabod.
Yes.
And
these debates are what we live for, really.
On Sunday, if you have like the Easter ham and everything, even if that takes place at 11 a.m., that is dinner.
Easter dinner.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'm on board, I guess. If it's for like a special occasion, but I will say it was a little confusing. I was a little flustered. I was like, when do I show up? I just want to eat.
Yeah. I mean, that's the important thing. But it does raise the conundrum of if dinner is like in the middle of the day when you would normally have lunch, then what is the last meal of the day? You can't have two dinners.
Yeah.
So I guess that is supper.
I don't want to have to pick one. I want both.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
First dinner, second dinner. I don't know.
Yeah, we could just do a Lord of the Rings thing.
Yeah.
You know, first and second of whatever meal we want to do first and second.
I'd be very into that. So I guess that's my answer is I'm doing a Lord of the Rings style Easter as far as how I'm eating 2 dinners. It's going to be good.
That sounds beautiful.
That's awesome. Well, I want to know because you're, this song is involved with the show Gabriel and the Guardians, which is an anime. I have been a fan of anime for a little bit, and I kind of want to know: have you been a fan of anime? Do you have any shows that you enjoy watching or have in the past?
Yeah, I always hesitate to answer this question because I have friends who are like hardcore anime fans. Like they know all the shows and all the references, and I'm not at that level. But
so you're casual.
Yes, I'm casual. And the show I'm going to mention now, some people would even, get in the debate of like, is that even anime? But like, I grew up on like The Last Airbender. I still think that that's like one of the most incredible animated TV shows. And Jason, who created Gabriel and the Guardians, was super inspired by that show as well when he was working on this show. And the same studio that animated The Last Airbender animated Gabriel and the Guardians. So I have like that's like the show I know the most about, and it worked out well for me because there's a lot of like one-to-one crossover there. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think it's such a cool art style. And I remember like being a kid and going to the Scholastic Book Fair and getting like books on how to draw like manga style like characters. And I could never really do it, but I always thought it was so
fun. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so you know a bit about anime, but then that leads me to my question that I think, so you have a Q&A coming up tonight too for the premiere of the show, which people can find details on at RadioU.com/Ohio. I'm sure this question will come up at the premiere as well. But how did you actually wind up making the song Head First for Gabriel and the Guardians? How did that come about in the first place?
Oh my gosh, it's a pretty good story, honestly. I was in Ohio playing a couple shows and had a Q&A like I do before a lot of shows. And this guy came up with his 2 kids to do signatures, and his kids have like Sharpie all over their face and arms, and it's all lyrics of my songs.
Oh my gosh.
They were like hardcore. So it's like sweet as Coca-Cola, and like I'm not joking, like all over their face and neck and everything. It was awesome.
Is that safe?
I don't know. I think they're fine. I haven't heard anything. But yeah, kids, if you're listening, don't Sharpie your face just because you're going to a Peabody show. Ask your parents first. This dad was cool with it. So instantly I'm like, okay, these kids are awesome. Like, this is going to be super fun. And Jason, their dad and the creator of the show, who I didn't know this at the time, we get to talking, we take pictures and whatever. And he goes, hey, this is super out of the blue, but I'm making this show my kids wanted me to bring you like a poster from the show. So I'm going to just leave this with you. Check it out if you want. Maybe there's like some world where we could work on the music. And, I'm taking all of this in like in the queue line of like meeting people. And so I'm kind of like, sure, man. Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
Whatever.
Right.
And me and my drummer, Austin, were looking at the poster afterwards and we were like, this looks pretty cool. Like, let's actually check it out. And at that point, all they had was like a teaser trailer and some of the backstory. And I like went online and started like stalking Jason and like watched the show. And I was like, or the teaser trailer. And I was like, this actually looks really good. And I'm sure you guys have felt this, but in our lifetime growing up, now there's a lot of really cool stuff in Christian media. But growing up, kind of the stigma was like, if it's Christian, it's probably not good as far as like TV went.
Sure.
Quality not as high.
Exactly. So that's kind of the expectation I went in with, because this dude loves Jesus and he's making an anime that, like lines up with his beliefs. I was like, this can't be good. But I was super impressed. I was so wrong. The teaser trailer like blew my mind, and I was like, okay, I gotta meet this dude again and talk to him some more. So I hit him up on Instagram and wasn't even really sure if it was the right account. But I was like, hey, you gave me this poster. I'd love to hear some more. So we hopped on a Zoom call and he kind of like laid out the show for me, all the different people who were involved. Like I mentioned the studio that did The Last Airbender animated, the first episode that they have. And like the voice actors, like the main guy, Johnny Youngbosh, like he's the Black Power Ranger, and he's been in a ton of different anime. And so anyways, long story short, I was like immediately like caught the vision, and I was like, this is incredible. You've got all the right people in this to do this the right way. And I love the idea of having a show like the Last Airbender, but with, some of the principles that make Christianity so attractive. And so I was like, yeah, man, I would love to be, if there's a world where I can be involved even in just a little bit, I'd love to. And he was like, well, we need an end credits song. And I was like, okay, I'll see what I can do. And then before I got started, he was like, hey, the episode's not done yet, but I can send you what's called an animatic, which is like the storyboard, but like moving to like in motion with the voice acting and stuff. So it's maybe a frame every couple seconds or whatever.
Yep.
And I was geeking out because like before I did music, I like wanted to draw. And like I said, I wasn't like very good at it, but I love the world of animation, and I think it's really cool to watch something go from like a sketch to like a full-on TV show. So I was geeking out, was blown away by the show, and I won't give any spoilers, but Gabriel is going on this adventure, and there's an invitation to that adventure, and he has the choice to throw himself headfirst, there it is, into the adventure, or to stay kind of comfortable. And I was like, man, there's something really beautiful about that I think all of us can relate to. We've got something in our life that maybe the Lord is calling us into, but it's risky because he's a good God, he wants us to grow and change, and he doesn't just leave us, in one place. It's sanctification. And so I was like, there's something really cool about that. And so I was just inspired by the episode and knocked the song out pretty quick, and got a video from one of Jason's kids with no Sharpie on his face this time. But he was like, I think this is the best song you've ever written. So I was like, okay, I know I hit the mark if the kids with Sharpie are vibing with the song. So that's kind of the whole story, how it came to be.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
I'm so glad it came together, that it worked out that way. What are the odds? Probably 1 billion to 1. And now we have a cool new anime show, and we have your brand new song, Head First. So tonight is the premiere for RadioU Ohio of the show, and Peabody doing a virtual Q&A. So you don't have to ask him how the song came to be, but you can ask any other thing you've ever wanted to know about Peabody. And that's coming up. Details are at radiou.com/Ohio.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. It's Radio U. Fyre Fest 2 may or may not be postponed.
Oh my goodness.
It's kind of up in the air right now, but we talked a while ago about how Billy McFarland, the organizer of the original Fyre Fest, who also went to jail for organizing, if you can call it that, Fyre Fest, decided that Fyre Fest 2 was going to happen. Somehow they allowed him to do this. I don't even know who they is, but like somehow he was allowed to start talking about doing Fyre Fest 2 and actually sold people tickets for hundreds of dollars to a festival that had not announced any artists, any experiences, anything that was going to be happening. And yet people still bought tickets. And now there's conflicting kind of reports coming out from earlier this week that Fyre Fest 2 has been postponed.
Yeah, apparently they sent an email to ticket holders with this writing in it. It says, you can't make this stuff up. When a government takes your money, issues permits, promotes the event, and then pretends it's never heard of you, that's just dishonest. Or it's not just dishonest, it's theft. Due to this, we have decided to move Fyre Festival 2 elsewhere.
I think we can't make this up. They can, though.
Yeah.
I think this is all
Good
a big
point.
fabrication of lies.
Yep. Billy McFarland, he seems to have the ability to make all sorts of stuff up.
Yeah. I love what it says here in the report. The AV Club report is so good on this. It says there was already cracks starting to form in a structure that seemed to be about 95% cracks. When the city, so this is what they're referencing in that email that went out to ticket holders. They claimed that the Fyre Fest, Billy McFarland, claimed that Fyre Fest 2 was going to be happening in Playa del Carmen, a small city in Mexico. But that city put out a public statement refuting claims that it would be hosting the festival. So that was going back a few days. So that is when things started to be, seem even more suspicious than they already did, which is about as suspicious as they could possibly be. And yet people still spent money to reserve a spot for this, which that still boggles my mind.
Absolutely boggles my mind as well. Why would you ever trust a man like Billy McFarland again? When you watch the Fyre Festival documentaries, it mentions how he's not only been involved in Fyre Festival as a disaster, he's been involved in so many other disastrous, products and companies and stuff. And it's always him that's behind it. And so it's just like, he is not a straight up guy. He's not a straight up businessman. He's going to lie and he's going to cheat and he's going to steal people's money. And that's exactly what he's doing right now.
And when I say, going back, I don't know who they is or who is allowing him to do this, I'll tell you who it is. It's us. And I don't mean like you and I, Allie, but I mean us as people that keep buying tickets for these things that are very clearly fake. Yet again, I refer back to the AV Club report, a statement to people who have already bought their tickets, who for legal reasons we are not allowed to refer to as suckers, rubes, pigeons, dupes, soft touches, or chumps, claims that Fyre Festival 2 is still on. We are vetting new locations and will announce our host destination soon. Our priorities remain unchanged, delivering an unforgettable, safe, and transparent experience. Oh, it'll be unforgettable, all right.
It already is.
It totally is.
It already is unforgettable.
Here's another follow-up on a story we recently covered. That is LeBron James, the first male athlete to get his own Barbie doll.
Ken doll.
It's a Ken doll, but it's Barbie brand.
Yeah.
It went on sale this Monday, and it is already sold out completely.
Wow.
The original run. I don't know if they're going to make more of these. I don't know if it's, maybe it's supposed to be limited time, but maybe the demand is so high. They're like, maybe we will make more. But it sold out between Monday and Wednesday. And now if you were to try to buy this on eBay, try to buy the LeBron James Ken Ambassador doll, there's from $100 on average, all the way up to, if you want an autographed edition, $3,000.
Whoa.
I didn't know they made the autographed ones.
I didn't either.
But apparently people are definitely here for LeBron James Ken doll.
Yeah. What did you say the original price is just for the doll?
The original price, $75.
Okay. Wow. So yeah, that is kind of like a special edition Barbie. You know, they have like the holiday Barbies and those special edition ones. So, but yeah, that's crazy that it sold out already. I wonder how many they made though. You know?
Yeah, that I do not know. That's not disclosed.
Yeah, but I'll be interested to see if they do make more. I thought it looked pretty cool. I know we talked about it and said it did, resemble LeBron at least. It wasn't like it looked not like him. So, if you have kids that are basketball fans, it'd be a cool doll to own.
I don't know. You say that it's a cool doll and whatever. What doll is worth $75?
Good. Yeah.
$75.
I feel like it's going to collectors if you're paying that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of Barbie collectors out there.
I know. Is it okay to judge them?
I mean, you can. You can judge anybody, I guess. But should you?
We listen and we don't judge, but $75 for something that's going to sit on your shelf. How happy is that actually going to make you?
Yeah.
Like a year down the line?
Yeah.
I guess if you just have money that you can just go ahead and spend $75 on a doll, congratulations. But like to me, that $75 could go to things that would like really not just make me happy today, that can continually make me happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Memories.
Yeah.
Or like something that I will get use out of for a long time. There's no use for this. It's just to sit on a shelf.
And see, I feel like we're similar in that way, but a lot of people like the way that they want to spend their money and the things that make them happy are to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think oftentimes collecting culture can turn into hoarding culture.
Yeah.
But I don't have any shame against people that want to collect Barbies. I think there's some that are really cool.
Yeah, they're cool, but it's just so tough. And okay, I'll use my dad as an example. He's a huge card collector, like sports cards.
Baseball cards or just all sports?
Mostly hockey.
Oh, okay.
Of course,
Yep.
but some baseball. And he gets these things and it's exciting when they come in the mail and then they wind up in a box.
Yeah.
And like sometimes he gets them out and looks at them, but it's just like, you're never going to be as excited as when you get in the mail. And if that's the most excited you get when you're spending this money on this stuff, I think like, is it worth it?
It could benefit you someday though. They could be worth a lot of money.
Yeah, then you'd be even more excited when you sell it off. So you can buy more new things.
Yep. More new cards.
Who's on top and who's not? It's First to Worst on RadioU.
This is First to Worst. With Hudson and Allie, we have a topic. We pick our first choice and our worst choice from that topic. You decide which of us chose better and which choices we missed. Today's topic is board games. Allie, you get to go first. What's your first and worst board games?
Yes. So this is really fun. Like I said yesterday when we previewed this, it was kind of hard for me to pick a first. I already knew what my worst was going to be, but for first, I had a lot of options rolling around in my head. But I think I'm going to go with this one. Clue as my first. I love Clue. I love mysteries. And I personally think it has the best adaptation ever made for a board game.
There's not a very long list.
But I mean, just like that adds to the lore of Clue,
Yeah.
There's, I think there's stage plays of it now, and also the movie with Tim Curry. I mean, come on, Tim Curry, you can't beat it. But yeah, Clue, it's a lot of fun. I've never been disappointed when I play Clue, so I think it's a great game. Good for the whole family to play, and not boring, and usually doesn't take too long if you're not going to be sitting there for hours and hours and hours.
Yep.
Which is a hint for my worst. My worst is the game Risk.
Oh. Not Risk.
Here's the issue with Risk. The risk involved is that you may never finish the game ever that you start, because often you'll get in a stalemate.
Yeah.
The game will never end. Your friends have to go home and the sleepover's over. The game just sits there and you eventually give up and have to put it away and you're like, yeah, we'll never finish this game.
Yeah.
So it's not that I hated Risk. I always was excited whenever the opportunity came about to play Risk, but at the end was always disappointed.
Yeah, I like Risk a lot, but that is so true about Risk. Monopoly on that same similar, but very similar vein.
Monopoly, I feel like you most of the time would get to the end. I don't ever remember finishing Risk. Ever.
I don't know. Okay, let me do mine. My first is Scattergories.
Okay.
I love Scattergories.
Okay.
I think that's a game, and there's kind of been there's now offshoots of Scattergories, or not even associated with it, but very similar games. That's the kind of thing I thrive at.
I could see you thriving at that, Mr. Useless Knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. Just being able to randomly recall things. Yeah. That's perfect for me. My worst is Candyland. It's not. I don't know if that's fair because it's such for little kids.
Yeah.
But also, it's not. It hardly is a game. There's no skill to it at all.
Because
you're just drawing cards.
But because it's for kids, it's it's a starter game.
It's a bad game.
It's not a bad game.
Some of the characters are creepy. I don't like Candyland. Even as children need to be challenged more than Candyland provides.
Candyland is a fun game. I have plenty of fun memories playing Candyland.
From when you were 3 years old.
Older than that.
Candyland's not a good game. 8772 RadioU. Let us know in this first to worst. Who chose better? I have the first board game is being Scattergories. The worst is Candyland. Allie says
Clue as number one, as first. And then worst as Risk.
Who chose better and where do we miss? 8772 Radio U. We are doing first to worst. Today's topic is board games. The first and worst board games. Allie had the first choice. Your choices are?
Clue for first, Risk for worst.
And I have Scattergories as first and Candyland as worst. We have Susanna getting in saying, I love Clue, but voting for Hudson. At Christmas, my family plays Candyland where we have all of the kinds of candy and each get the appropriate piece of candy anytime anyone lands in one of the spots.
So you don't like that?
But I guess she doesn't like that.
Oh, that sounds really fun, actually, playing with actual candy.
It sounds like it sounds like that would be an improvement on Candyland, but it's still Candyland at the end of the day. We also heard from Jared, who says Scattergories is elite, no notes, and Candyland is nonsense. He also says his favorite is Codenames. I've never played that.
Codenames is a fun one.
I do not know what that is.
Yes.
He also says Monopoly is the worst. Do you have any honorable mentions, Allie? Because this was a tough one for me.
This was a tough one for me too. I really like the game of life. I loved playing that game a lot growing up, but I tried to pick something that I felt like was fun playing as a kid, but is also still fun playing now. So I have good memories of it. It's nostalgic.
Yeah, but you would
also
still pick it up today.
Still play it today. And Clue for me is that. I also really love Scrabble, but I know that's kind of a harder one for some. So it's that one doesn't have as many fun memories as Clue.
Yeah.
But I've always loved spelling. So Scrabble was always a fun game for me.
Scrabble is the top played game in my family.
Really?
Yeah. When we do get-togethers with my siblings.
Do you have the board that turns on the little wheel?
We put it on a Lazy Susan. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. That was something we figured out because we played so much Scrabble. By the way, Susanna says she does like Candyland. But Candyland is terrible otherwise.
So she likes it with the extra candy.
Yeah, the Christmas candy version. But other than that, terrible. Otherwise.
I don't think it was ever known as a game for adults. It's
no.
It's a starter game for kids.
No, yeah, it is. Some of my honorable mentions, I actually was going to put Risk up there. I know you can never finish a game, but I still have fun playing it.
It's fun, but to me, it's I'd rather play now Catan because that one you can actually finish.
Yeah.
Also,
I put Battleship on here, not because it's really a honorable mention, but I just wanted to tell the story about how Mrs. Hudson has banned me from playing Battleship.
Oh, she's banned you?
Yes, we're not allowed to play Battleship together because what I do is I don't randomly pick squares I just go in a diagonal, make diagonal lines across. I just play the same way every time. And then if I find some
strategy.
Yeah. Or I'll just do a pattern every time of how I will guess, which apparently isn't fun to play with, but it's I'm just trying to win over here. And that seems like as good a strategy as any.
I mean, I'm not going to knock any strategy with that game. You don't know what it's going to be. So
we have one more from Zane who says, Scattergory is proof that words are weapons. Clue is fine, but I don't trust anyone who enjoys Risk. Yeah, but you said the Risk was the worst.
Yeah, I said Risk was the worst.
Oh, and how did nobody mention this? Zane says Ticket to Ride is his best.
Oh, Ticket to Ride is a fun one.
I've only played that once. It was fine. I don't understand the hype around it because it was like, for a while, everybody was like, this is the best game.
I definitely feel like I only played that as a kid. I have not played it as an adult.
I played it once and I won. And then I retired.
And you're like, never again.
Yeah.
I hate winning.
I didn't hate it. The experience was fine, but I just didn't understand why some people love it so much.
Okay. Thanks for listening to the RadioU podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.